with head coach Nitra Perry after a 70-58 loss to Stetson. Coach, just your thoughts on the game?
There was a lot of positives in that game. I thought our first half, our first, 15 minutes were really, really good. The second half, we were still, up a lot of that. And I just think defensively, we didn't, hold it down. They had some timely threes late. Although they only hit 8, it was just the timing of them when you're trying to, cut down a 5-point lead. I think they hit it, and it went up to 8, and then they hit another one and went up to 11. So, I thought we had a good effort for the most part, and now it comes down to the details of the game.
Yeah, in the second half, you kind of had a little bit of a lull there where they made their run and couldn't quite get out of that to get back into rhythm. Just talk a little bit about that.
I talk to my team all the time about, going into offensive lulls. But I think the disappointing part was if we're not scoring, they don't score. Because every team, you can't always control if your three is falling, if your jump shot is falling. Of course, you want to make all your layups, but, we weren't getting to the free throw line. So then you just got to hunker down and play D. And that's what it came down to. Like I said, we were double teaming the post, and there were some great passes out, which meant the double team wasn't great. So I think defensively is where we lost the game.
Then you had 20 turnovers. How can you cut that down moving forward?
Oh, man. If I knew that.
20 turnovers, and then they got 18 points off of those turnovers.
The turnovers aren't bad when they're forced. So if somebody's pressing you and they're getting on you and they get a tip on the ball, but when we're trying to run a fast break and we just throw it away, those are the ones that you want to get back. I felt like we had probably 7 to 10 of those they were unforced turnovers that we literally did to ourselves, and that's kind of disheartening.
Turning it back to a positive, you out-rebounded, I believe it's the 5th straight game you've out-rebounded a team. Just talk a little bit about their rebounding effort as of late.
We talk about rebounding just being about effort. And I think the epitome of that was Christina Wells, having 13 rebounds, 5 offensive boards, and she just would not lay down today. And I think that's what a senior looks like. So I was extremely proud of her and the rest of the team rebounding the ball. I thought Ariane rebounded the ball well. She got 3 offensive boards. But, it really came down to putting the ball in the hole and getting stops.
And then Katie Hunt also had a career-high 10 points. Let's talk a little bit about her play today.
Katie Hunt is a redshirt freshman coming back from an ACL. So, I guess, you should say she's where she's supposed to be as a freshman. And we always knew that she had a lot of talent, that she can do some things with the ball. It's just more about keeping her focused. And tonight she was focused. She was focused in shoot around, and so it's definitely something to build off of.
You have your final 2 ASUN games go to NKU, host Lipscomb next Saturday. Just talk a little bit about those and what do you need out of those?
We need wins. Going to NKU is going to be a tough game. They're tough at home. But I think, if we play the defense that we play and just control the tempo of the game, I think we'll be successful. And, of course, Lipscomb is going to be senior night. You want to win at home. But both of those are going to be tough games. I'm looking at it like, tourney games. Even though you're not one and done right now, this is what the tournament looks like. We played Florida Gulf Coast, we played Stetson. Now you're playing NKU, who's tied for 3rd as well. So I mean, it's tough competition, but I think it's great going in tourney play.
Coach, you talked to your team for an extended amount of time after the game. Can you just talk a little bit about what the message to them was?
I really asked them, did they beat you or did you beat yourself? And just talked about things that we talk about in practice. And I do feel like we have a great basketball team. And we talked a lot about not being afraid to fail, playing like we don't have anything to lose. And just drew off of the Florida Gulf Coast game. When we got down 23, it seemed like we came to life, because at that point I think we thought, well, we're out of it, so let's play hard. And then we got back into it. And I said, we did that the first half. And then all of a sudden, instead of saying, hey, we're up 10, let's get up 20. Well, let's keep the 10-point lead, and you start playing tight. And so we just talked about, hey, believing in yourself, believing in each other, and staying together. And I keep saying maturity, but it really comes down to that and knowing how to win and knowing how to handle success and continue to be successful.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And then one final question. Today was Pink Out Day. Just talk a little bit about what that means. All the coaches wore T-shirts that said Think Pink. What does it mean to you and your staff?
For me, you'd be surprised by how many people have been touched by cancer. One of my favorite aunts passed last year of cancer, and we have a lot of cancer survivors on my dad's side of the family. So it was very personal for me today, as well as our staff. We all have been touched by it, but it's just more about, appreciating life and understanding that, it's thinking pink, it's you're surviving, and so we just want to participate in something that's huge for women's basketball, and it's something that touches the women's side of the game a lot.
Excellent.